Hi, my name is, I'm gonna just tell you, Geteye. Get in. Get everything you need. Okay? Now, I've been focusing highly on free energy. They say it's impossible. They say it doesn't exist, right? So the whole thing is this. It does exist. We live it every single day. Well, it's not free energy. Let's not even go there. Let's say perpetual. They say perpetual doesn't exist, right? And they fill this up by saying that everything is going to come to an end or whatever. But if indeed something stops something, it doesn't stop it from being perpetual. It means you stop something from being continuous. Life is perpetual. The grass will beget more grass, and the rain will beget more rain, and the sun, and the life. And you keep having kids, right? So you say, well, I'm no longer here, or the other person is no longer here, but life perpetuates itself. So there is a way to create something that is perpetual. And there is a way to create perpetual motion machines, a way to create perpetual energy. It is a way. And I can create that way, and I will create that way. And I'm working on it right now. I'm trying to get together at least 10 people. And I have an idea, a concept that at the end of the day, it can get the job done. Theoretically, physically, everything. Anything that you got to say, anything that you can throw at it, I already figured it out. If you already figured it out, where is it? I'm looking for 10 people in different fields. I might go on YouTube and make a post from Geteye, trying to get in contact with these individuals because I believe they have components that they have been working with for some time, that they understand to some degree, that can be utilized successfully. Like what they say, over unity machine or whatever, over unity. We can create this over unity. Over unity. So, the whole thing is, if you have an idea, if you're moving with something, hit me up. Let me see if we can work together. If not, we can't. But I only need 10. And they all come from different walks of life. All different kind of walks of life. I can't really fully disclose exactly what I'm looking for right now, because I'm trying to, what is it? Put it into a box that hasn't been manipulated or obtained or classified as an operation. Bees begat more bees, and people begat more people, and trees begat more trees, and rain begat more rain. And I believe we live in a closed circuit. In this closed circuit, it perpetuates life. And life itself is a perpetual thing. And we continue to perpetuate ideas and concepts over and over and over again. It's a continuation. It starts, it stops, it starts, it stops, it starts, it stops on its own. Because that's what life gives us, creation. Creation is a perpetual thing because someone is continuously creating. And if you're not creating, someone else is creating. And if they're not creating, a bee is creating, a wasp is creating, an ant is creating. Something is always creating. New ideas, new forms of life. Proof of concept is already given to us. But are we going to be unified to figure out if this is going to be something that we can get together on, right? money is a form of saying, I don't want to have 1,000,000 cows, and I don't want to have 1,000,000 flowers, and I don't want to have 1,000,000 gallons of milk. I want to trade this so that way I can be a part of the society movement, which is intermingling. I have my idea. You gonna need this. I need that. I need that. I need that. A bunch of y'all need what I got. I need what a bunch of y'all got, and that's just how it operates. So now I'm looking for 10 people. I was thinking maybe it's not enough, but 10 people should be more than enough. I'll be the 11th person, which it will be 11 inventions all together. It'd be the one main invention with everybody together. It'd be 10 inventions individualized, which makes up the one component of the 10. So it's 11 devices that needs to be invented, needs to be created, needs to be facilitated in order to reach the optimum goal of a perpetualness. My whole thing is, even if it runs 100 years, who will let it run 100 years? Will it be allowed to run 100 years? Or what about 200 years? This is my question when it comes down to perpetual, right? For a lot of people, they say, oh, it'll erode, or it'll do this, and it'll do that. But what about maintenance? Will it still be classified to be perpetual if it needs maintenance? Everything needs maintenance. If you have a room sitting, it needs maintenance because it may be clean when you leave it. You can come back in some time and dust is starting to collect because dust is in the air and it discharges and it goes down to the ground and it builds and it builds, which generates more static, which collects more dust. So the whole thing is me removing that dust. Does it stop it from being perpetual? Because I am aiding it by keeping it clear of any hindrance. Leave your thoughts in your comments below. If maintenance, being a part of it, dictates that it's not perpetual, does it have to keep itself clean and free of dust and any elements that may come upon it and hinder its production? Does that, in fact, create a scenario that people would say, well, it's not perpetual because the dust is going to fall down and it's going to get inside the motors and the motors are going to have to be the da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, if you had to stop the perpetual motion machine in order to clean it, does that stop it from being perpetual? Does it give you or grant you the right to say, look, I stopped it. It didn't stop itself. I took it apart. I cleaned it. I put it back together to make sure that everything is in operation. If I replace the part, because I say, hey, I see that this piece is wearing down. Does that prevent it from being perpetual? I don't believe it to be a stopping it being perpetual, because the fact of the matter is, if it would have continued to operate without the loss of erosion to the metal or to concrete or to a circuit or to anything, then you can count it as a wear down of something that, if an implementation of an erosion free, a deterioration free, a breakdown free component for every component that's used, would in fact be more than just perpetual, because now you're actually talking about permanency. You need to have permanent copper pipes that don't corrode and don't turn green and erode, and you need to have cells inside, holders of charges and batteries and things that don't have to be. See, now you get into the world of replacement. Now, does replacing something take away from the fact that if it did need to be replaced due to not malfunctioning, but through the principle of erosion and time constraints, of a property that after a certain time it needs to be replaced? Does that take away from it from being perpetual? All it needs is a component that doesn't erode in that time frame. Maybe you might be able to extend the length or the life of a particular item. But in terms, I believe it will be considered perpetual because a lot of people are putting concepts that's not even a part of the construct. The construct is it a perpetual motion machine? Indeed, if the gears and all that did not run into these problems, would it be able to continue to do what it's doing if it had no deterioration, no corrosion, no eroding, nor any breakdown of any sort of the materials? Could that be considered a perpetual motion machine? Hey, all you gotta do is make sure the components is all up to date and you keep it going on and going on and where the oil's going out the bearings, but it's happening itself. Right? We all know these type of things. But it doesn't take away from the fact that if there was a way to keep certain things fresh or renew themselves and prioritize our functions as this will continue. And the only thing that will stop it is the breakdown of materials. Can we have that as an agreement? That maintenance wouldn't deter from a perpetual motion machine by trying to keep the lifespan of the materials up, and the material breakdown doesn't take away from the perpetual motion machine or the perpetual energy making machine due to components eroding or the electrical components speeding up the erosion of the device because it's creating ozone or it's creating atmospheric pressure, putting more onto the individual atoms inside of a particular wood or metal that was unforeseen because this hasn't been a property of consistency. My whole thing is this. I have a great idea that I need 10 other people to work with me on to expedite the creation of a machine that is continuous. And the only hindrance would be maintenance and the eroding of the properties such as the metal, the wood, the concrete, the oil, whatever is needed to lubricate. If it needs lubrication, it doesn't need lubrication, right? See, I'm not worried about that. All I want to know is it fair to say a perpetual motion machine can be a perpetual motion machine regardless if it needs maintenance and regardless if it needs to have a replacement part due to wear and tear? Get back to me. Giddy YN, signing out.